Hello everyone, this is Korath Landwalker, doing a special Sunday stream, mainly because I couldn't stream on Saturday, where we will be taking a look at Star Citizen. 3.14 has landed in the PTU, the Public Test Universe. So if you're looking to see the new landing zone of Orison, the new combat changes, the constellation Taurus, any of that, this is not the stream to be watching. I do not have PTU, and it's currently only open to subscribers, concierge, and presumably whoever was Evocati to begin with, which are the elite testers. No, here we are still on live. And today I'm going to take a look at what a lot of people seem to indicate is the best starter ship in the game, which is, well, let's take a look. I am currently at Area 18 on the world of ArcCore, because I wanted to fiddle around in a different area than I usually do. No pun intended. Our choice of the day is the Aegis Avenger Titan. As you can see, listed right here on the Fleet Manager, the Avenger Titan is listed as a courier, 8 SU of cargo. Doesn't sound all that impressive. Hey Cap, how are you doing today? How's life on your end of the monitor?
Please be aware that while
There's also a couple other variants of the Avenger. I have the Warlock, for example, which replaces the back end with the EMP. And I think it's the Stalker, which is a bounty hunting variant, which has apparently a spot to put defeated bounties, or at least it will one day. But those are not what we are looking at. We are going to be looking at the Avenger Titan.
your personal belongings are
The Titan is not the cheapest starter ship. That honor goes to the Mustang Alpha and the Aurora MR. However, for $15 more, or for a much more reasonable fee by paying credits in-game, you can get a ship that is capable of doing maybe not a bit more, but a bit better. What do I mean by this? Well, that's what we're going to be demonstrating today on the stream. First, though, we're going to take off of Area 18 because I don't want the air traffic control folks to decide, hey, we should store that ship again because that would annoy the owner. And of course, there we go, Hangar 3. I couldn't remember where I was at. And Area 18, at the moment, has some rather zealous individuals in control of the autopilot systems, which I understand may actually be fixed soon. We'll see. Now, when I look at the Avenger series, for some reason, I'm always put into mind of the old space shuttles. I mean, NASA's space shuttles. I mean, it has almost that kind of look, almost. And you might see it a little more thoroughly once we start getting inside and third-person viewing it all. We have two major points of entry. We have the cockpit, and we have this back door here. Now, in the Warlock, this would lead to, instead of a cargo area, a really big, round chamber. That's your EMP generator. I presume that in the Stalker, it'll have a, I don't know, prison cell thing? I don't really know. But here in the Titan, you have a cargo grid. And that's where you have one of the benefits of the Avenger Titan over, say, the Aurora. Because in that particular case, in the Aurora, you have a hard time doing box deliveries because they usually require you to do 3 boxes and they're a tight fit. You do not have a tight fit in Avenger Titan. You also have a decent cabin area here. I don't know if it has any other amenities aside from the bed. Doesn't seem like it. I didn't think there'd be a weapons locker, but Hope springs eternal, right? Although it sure feels like there ought to be something over here. Then again, ships are always being polished. Theoretically. Now, Aegis does have one of the things I don't really care for, which is the 2D radar. Not one of my favorite radar systems, but you know, you adapt. And we've got 3 multifunctional displays. One on each side of the radar and one below. We have 4 missiles, which are, looks like EM missiles, size 2s. As far as guns go, we're not looking at a whole lot. We're looking at some laser repeaters and a Gatling up front at the nose. I would like to reiterate that this is a stock loadout. That means I have not done anything to give this more frills, including a better quantum drive, so I guess I'd better make sure I stay in the hardcore region. Let's take another look at the ship, except from a little bit more angle. You can see from the shade of white it's using to the black underside, and I guess the general shape even kind of evokes the space shuttle to me. So if you're a big fan of NASA, the aesthetic will probably appeal to you. Now let's level off a little bit, and there we go. I was hoping to get my... There we go. I was hoping to see my angle where my nose was pointing a little bit better than that, but sometimes when I go into third-person view it goes away, and sometimes it comes back, so... We would call this, in the parlance of Star Citizen, a bug. We have those in this game, it happens. So now that I am free and clear of the landing zone, let's do a little something different. Ordinarily, I would go about showing off the weapon systems available on the ships I'm flying around, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to try a couple of the more interesting delivery missions. In the past, I've done these delivery routes, which have 3 packages being delivered, and you're either delivering 3 to 3 different locations, or you're picking up from 3 different locations and delivering to another location. Either way, involves 3 packages, involves 4 locations. It takes some time, a bit of effort, usually in the same system, but not always. Sometimes it'll go out to one of the R&R stations. It's time-consuming, but it's a decent way to make some decent bank for extremely low risk. And then we have the more interesting things. Like these. Quantum-sensitive cargo. They pay a little bit better, and you pick up a single package. Okay, you're picking up 2 packages in this case. Okay, 2 packages. Okay, that'll be... I feel it deserves more pay for that, but, you know, I was not insulted. As usual. The problem with quantum-sensitive cargo, though, is... How can I put it gently? You cannot use your quantum travel drive. Usually when you're going from place to place, you're quantum traveling to shorten the amount of time it takes you. You can't do that, because if the quantum field is detected by these packages, they blow up. And they may potentially take your ship with them, depending on, you know, the size of your ship. This would be a prime example of a ship that would blow up. So, we are going to grab that, and we're going to give that a try. Now, the good news is all the packet... Well, obviously, when you're having this kind of mission, it's going to be in the same general location. is either going to be on the same planet or the same moon, because that would be a really sick and twisted thing to make you try to deliver from one moon to another, or from one moon to a planet, and so forth, on just your hydrogen drive. I mean, can you imagine? It would take forever. 10,000 credits would not be anywhere near worth the effort it would take. No, just no. Now the good news is, since I don't have the packages yet, we can just go straight on with the quantum travel. I won't be able to do this later, so... Now, I wanted... Well, actually, no, I'll hold off until we're traveling, because we'll need something to fill that blank time with. So here we go, the moon of Lyria. For those not in the know, Lyria is a very helpful place to know about if you happen to be a bad person. Because if you have criminal status, there is a security depot here on Lyria where you can get rid of your crime stat. There are some risks. Like, you know, the security depot has guards and turrets, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and Artcore is substantially more out of the way than, say, the Hurston security depot or the security post Caria over at Crusader. Alright, now, just to give an idea of what kind of speed we can pull off on the Avenger, we're on a moon's atmosphere, but we are already cruising at 950, a kilometer a second. Now let's slow it down because I'm going to overshoot like crazy. Oh wait, there's nothing wrong with my space brakes, that's for sure. Let's turn on the lights. Ooh, let's not turn on the lights. I have better visibility with the lights off. A lot of debris flying around. And let's come in for the land. And, oh, okay, there we go. For a minute there, I thought we would have the packages in 2 different locations. But I seem to have gotten lucky. That happens. Once in a while. Let's level off and settle down. Now, turn off the engines. And then, I'm going to exit the ship through the cockpit. If I were to just get off there. Let me try this sentence again without my lips and tongue stumbling upon each other. If I were to exit the ship by pressing the Y key like I do for most, I would simply have the seat rotate around and I'd be going back towards the back. You have to physically turn to your left and interact with the side to exit the cockpit. This is important because of this. The Avenger Titan has the cabin in the back and the cargo bay door. An Avenger Warlock will get you back to your cabin, but it has no rear access. You cannot walk through the EMP generator. Now, I don't know if the Stalker is any better or not. I can't prove anything one way or the other. But I'm going to guess no, because that would make life really inconvenient. So, if it makes life inconvenient, I'm assuming that's the case. I am so cynical. Alright, so let's go inside the marvelous outpost building and take a look at what the package looks like. Now you can see these packages have a very unique look to them. They're cylindrical, they have a globe kind of thing. And you can see right here, quantum sensitive material. Do not quantum travel. Nice big friendly letters. Now, it's kind of interesting to note that these missions were not the missions that introduced these. The quantum-sensitive cargo was introduced during the Xenothreat Dynamic event some months ago. And there was all kinds of fun going on with that. And we'll be seeing one of the other possible types of cargo that introduced itself during that event a little later. Right now, though, it's all about the quantum. I can't left mouse button to drop these things anymore. So I've got to actually physically place these. That CIG always fiddling with my control. I'm strictly mouse keyboard, so, you know, I'm at their mercy. I wonder if I'm walking on ice. It sure looks like it's ice, doesn't it? Highly reflective. It looks like ice. That's one of the other reasons why I kind of like doing delivery missions once in a while. They don't pay very well, comparatively speaking. If you're doing bounty hunting, you will make the amount of money I'm making on this mission in no time flat. But delivery missions take you places. You get to see different locations. Now, a lot of them seem to have pretty much the same sort of layout as far as buildings and all that go. But the area around them could be quite striking. So, I have my cargo, so once I get back in the ship, I'll take a look at my map and see just how far I have to go. Now, the good news is, since I'm in a fairly aerodynamic fighter, I can be moving at a pretty good clip, even pretty low in the atmosphere of Lyria. Alright. Let's move up front. Oh, this can't be good. This can't be good. I hope that's not a 30K about to happen, because that's not what I want. Let's see what my B1 number. Yep, boys and girls, guess what's coming? Server crash incoming. Well, that's really annoying. Bam! Yes, it is a server crash. Just when I'd loaded up the cargo. Well, you know, that's Star Citizen in a nutshell. If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Or words to that effect. So we have good news and bad news. Yeah, that splash screen does get sadly does get a lot of use. But, you know, that's the hazards of Star Citizen. You've got to be willing to take the good with the bad, and that's part of the bad. Oh boy, I think I've got a bad token thing here too, which means I'm going to have to log right out of the game and pull it back up again. That's really annoying. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to go through, why don't we change things up a bit for people to be entertained while I get things rolling again. This feels like a good thing to do. Looks like I have to get on the ship first. The Cutlass Red, which is arguably the only good ship Drake has ever manufactured. And honestly, it's less because of the ship and more because of... Yes, this is Drake Manufacturer, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, Drake Interplanetary. Okay, we're back to loading up again now. Hello, Boost Addict. Welcome to my stream. You've come in at just the right time as we have just experienced our first 30K of the afternoon, so it's time to get back on the horse again. I still got a bad token. Well, that's not good. I mean, that's really not good. Okay, so let's see if I can kind of kick the server a few times. If I go into Arena Commander, I may be able to reset it. Re-verify and relaunch cap. Oh man, I hope I'd rather not have to re-verify, but I might have to. You really need a good PC to run this game somewhat smoothly. Mine's mid-range, I'd say. Well, you know, that's a hard thing to say. I've got a fairly decent setup these days. It might be mid-range now, but it wasn't when I bought it. There is a way that you can kind of get an idea, though. Let me see. Let me try to bring that up. First, let me find my... where do we have that? There we go. And then we'll swap over to the browser view. Oh, right. Here we go. On the Star Citizen page, they've got this telemetry page. And they have a minimum recommended configuration, which kind of hovers around here. And they're talking... I'm not entirely sure how this translates. It depends a lot on your graphics card and your CPU. Having a lot of RAM also helps, but you know, that's just the usual. If you have an account in Star Citizen, then you can go to this telemetry page and see where your computer fits on this. Now, there we go. If you're using something better than what's listed on here right now, then you're probably in good shape. Incidentally, if you don't have an account with a Star Citizen yet, and need to make an account, may I recommend, just to shill my own horn, to use this handy link, which will also give you extra AUEC, and add to my referral number of people who've used my referral code, which can currently be counted on one hand if I amputate my hand. But this page ought to give you a pretty good idea of what you can expect for your computer. Okay, let's kick back over to the stream. And do we still have the bad token? We still have the bad token. Grrr. Okay, well, let's go back to the browser while I beat on my client and scream at it a few times. If I thought I could get away with it, I would have the Jeopardy theme music available. But I know that the DMCA people would have a fit. So, And yes, by looking at that, you can see exactly where my computer fits in the great scheme of things here. So if your computer is better than mine, then you can expect some really good performance. Okay. Let's try this again. Man, 30K crashed so hard it just made my life completely miserable. Now, see if I can get to my software so I can go back to the stream. I hope this thing is not telling me it's about to crash my computer. Okay, if you can hear me, sing out, because I think my computer doesn't... Oh, there we go. For a minute there, I thought the whole thing crashed on me.